Alright, now we're doing 7Q Simple Fun number 176 Reverse Letter. This is by my Jinx in 2015, and 93% of people like it. Given a string str, we're going to reverse it and omit all non-alphabetic characters. For example, this will be this will be less this, and then this, alright? Input, output. Input is going to be string str, output's going to be a string, right? So let's get to it. First things first, let's turn this into concise syntax. Const reverse letter equals str, and then the rest of it we're going to turn into an arrow. Alright, let's do a console.log here, so it's easy to test, and then right here is where we're going to get to it. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to use the replace method, which returns a new string with one, some, or all matches of a pattern replaced by replacement, right? What we're going to use is the pattern, which is going to be some regex, and then the replacement, which is just going to be an empty string. If you don't know about regex, basically there's a whole lot to read. But what we're going to use is something like these character classes right here. We're going to use these this little range right here, but we're going to use the negated range. So we're going to match anything that's not, we're going to replace anything that's not A through Z. So we're going to use this caret to indicate the not. So let's just knock that out right now. We're going to say str.replace, and then we're going to say anything that's not A through Z. Oops, and then make sure to have your forward slashes here. Alright, and then we're also going to have to use, let's go over here to the regex page. We're also going to have to use something like these flags right here. We're going to use this global search flag so we can search more than one time. We're also going to use this case insensitive search just in case there's capital letters as well. So we're going to say GI right here, and we're going to say comma, and then we're going to have the empty string. So it's going to replace anything that's not a letter, case insensitive, with an empty string. Now let's test it out and see if that worked. And let's get rid of this test because it doesn't even have any of these. It doesn't have any non-alphabetic characters. So let's test it out again. And look, now it's Ultron instead of Ult53O question mark N. All right. So now all we got to do is reverse this, and to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to use the spread syntax. All right, so spread syntax, if you don't know about it, allows an iterable such as an array or string to be expanded in places where 0 or more arguments or elements are expected. So what we're going to do here is we're going to wrap this thing up in brackets, and then right here we're going to say dot dot dot, and let's test it out. Now it's an array. Alright, so with this we're going to reverse it using the reverse method. Put this over here. We're going to be using the reverse method, which reverses an array in place and returns the reference to that same array. It just reverses it. So we're going to say dot reverse like this. Now let's test it out. And there we go, it's reversed. So now all we got to do is join it all back together using the join method, which creates and returns a new string by concatenating all the elements in an array separated by commas or a specified separator string, right? And the specified separator string we're going to use is the, the spaces in between characters, so they're butted up right up next to each other, just like this one, all right? So we're going to say dot join, spaces in between the characters, test it out, just like that. All right, so let's get rid of this stuff. Oops, let's get rid of this, test it out, attempt it. All right, submit it. All right, you see they pretty much did the same thing we did, except for instead of the split method, we used the spread syntax, I should say. They did match instead, which is pretty much the same thing again. But I guess match, you don't even have to split it, and it'll just do it for you. And then this one did the filter method, which used the test method inside of it, which that's a little more typing than we're trying to do. And you can just go down and see the rest, all right? Let's go to mine. Just a few of us right here. Best practice, in my opinion. Very much like it, and we'll see you next time.